so this is going to be a dumbbell fly. So if you are using cable flies, the concept of what we're going to do around the pec and how we squeeze the pec together will stay the same. This is primarily a muscle building or hypertrophy exercise. So what we want to do is we want to focus on creating a lot of tension in the muscle. So that being said, we tend to go wide. So we lock out, if you locked out your elbows here, you start with a normal. So just sit down for me, 2 seconds. Okay, so you sit up, you start from this position, you lie backwards and you kick the dumbbells up as you lie back into that position, right? From there, what we do is we squeeze between our shoulder blades, we make sure our bum's on, and as always with the chest exercise like this, it's a full body lift. Although we're focusing on the chest, we still want to engage the butt, the heels. So if I try to lift the heels up off the ground, I can't, you're pushing through here. The butt is squeezed, full squeeze between the shoulder blades. Very similar to our setup with bench press. So what we do here is the elbows are softened and elbows turned out wide, like you're giving someone a little bit of a hug. And then what you want to do is you want to go wide into the bottom of the movement like so. Hands go wide, like you're giving someone a big hug, and engage this muscle, the pec, squeeze and come back up together. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. So as you come together, you're thinking of actually engaging the pec. Don't just bring your arms together. You want to actively engage this muscle so that you feel it cramping and it's got a lot of tension, especially as you come across the top of the movement. Here, as you go down, you feel like a lot of stretching, pulling feeling through it. If you're not, you need to go down slower and more control so that you do feel that stretching, pulling feeling as you go down, and as you come up, you feel like a contraction or cramping feeling in this pec muscle. So, once again, elbows are softened up, big chest set like that, nice and wide. Wide we go, feel the tension and the pulling through the pec muscle right here, the chest muscle, pause just before the tension drops off, now squeeze and come back together. So how far you go is dictated by how much tension. You'll get to a point where it starts to drop off. And when you feel the tension start to drop off, that's your bottom position. Squeeze and bring it back together. So elbows a little straighter. The more we bend, right, the easier it is. The straighter our arms like that, the longer this distance, and therefore for the same amount of weight, more loading. So always remember, from a lockout position, you soften your elbows, and you try to maintain that position throughout the fly. So we go nice and wide again. Wider, wider, wider. You're giving someone a big hug. Tension starts to drop off. Squeeze, grip with the butt, come back together, and constantly contract with that pec muscle. 2 more. Nice and wide, nice and wide. Chest up, chest up. Grip, squeeze together. Nice. 1 more. Wider, wider, wider. Nice and wide, nice and wide. Pause, squeeze, bring it back together. Contract, 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 hold. And when you lower it down onto the hips. Sit back up. Right. It's a dumbbell fly, right, on the bench. Key points, as always, make sure that you feel this muscle working. It shouldn't feel like nothing, or in the bicep, you want to make sure that the pec, or this chest muscle, is really fatigued and tired and feels like it's getting a good workout at the end of it, right? So make sure you feel it in the right place.